Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport, and welcome to Model Kit Tuesday. Today's model is the last model which is already assembled and painted. So starting from next week, I'm going to have to begin work on some model kits, because everything else we've seen. We've already looked through the assembled ones, and I have quite a few model kits that have to be assembled, but I don't want to just review unbuilt kits. I would like to review kits where I've already started some work, because it's a bit like people who you do a review of a locomotive, talking about model trains, and then you don't run it on the layout. I mean, okay, show how it works. That's the whole point. I mean, there's no point in just talking about it and then putting it away in a box or something. Or anyway, that's just my opinion. Okay, righto. Back to business. So today's protagonist of Model Kit Tuesday is the Ural 4320, or 4320. There we go. So what is, I'm going to pan down now at the minute, that way we're going to use some high-tech. Oh, there we go. Yeah, let's use our fantastic tripod from the Chinese store. This way we get a better, lower view of the... I hope it doesn't tip back and then you'll see the desk lamp. Right, what can we say about the Ural 4320? The Ural 4320 is what you call it's a military tactical truck or prime mover, 6x6. There is also a version, as a different code, I can't remember it right now and I didn't write it down in the notes. There's also a 2-axle version which is 4x4. Its main function is transport of personnel, equipment. It can have all types of kitted out as tanker trucks, recovery trucks. It can is also used as a tractor unit. It's used in forestry. It's used wherever there is the requirement for a heavy duty, all terrain, no nonsense truck. It also has, like all Eastern European military soft skin vehicles, self-inflating tires, so centralized with the pneumatic system of the vehicle, where you can regulate the tire pressure according to the terrain, and also this way you can also counterbalance any punctures. This is typical. I've seen this on all Eastern European let's say military vehicles built in countries which once belonged to the Warsaw Pact. This was a standard. It's very interesting. This is also used on civilian trucks in Brazil. That's another thing. But this is a very interesting thing to talk about when we want to talk about trucks and the history of trucks and all the various solutions. Anyway, I'm wandering away from the main topic. So, the Ural 4320, it comes either with a V6 11.2 litre engine, diesel engine, turbocharged diesel engine, or a V8 14.9 diesel engine. The early models had a V8 petrol engine. So as I was saying, 6x6 tactical truck. It's also used as a launch pad for the BM-21 Grad rocket launchers. The Ural, it's made in the Ural automotive plant in Chelyabinsk in the Ural area of the main successor state of the Soviet Union, the one where this company is registered, Zvezda. Okay, I'm not saying the name because apparently it's not very popular to say the name lately. I'm not supposed to say it. Or the time I wrote it 3 or 4 times, even in tags, for the ZIS 5 Alan, the story, the video. surprisingly wasn't showing up, and I had to make a social post to make it start up again. It was I foolishly apparently wrote in the tags that it was Ocean, and that's the thing. So nowadays, for the moment, I will continue calling the country where the Ural 40 through 20 is produced, and where this model kit, Zvezda, the model kit company, Zvezda, I will continue referring to it as the Soviet Union's main successor state. It's a bit like when Macedonia, the ex-Federal Republic of Macedonia, Republic of Macedonia, it couldn't use the name Macedonia because the Greeks didn't agree with the fact that they were using the same name as their region of Thessalonica, and so for a long time the country was referred to as former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. Nowadays it's Northern Macedonia. They agreed eventually on, so I don't know, anyway, that was a matter of neighbours and history, and too much history and too little geography. But that's always generally one of the reasons for war. There's too much history and too little geography, which is actually a quote from an American magazine in the 1990s. I think it was 1990s, yes, with the situation in the Middle East. Anyway, it was an interesting cartoon where there was American Secretary of State with two main characters saying, "Gentlemen, we have a problem. There's too much history and too little geography." Okay. Then there are people who meddle with, the problem is when you begin meddling with geography and you begin meddling with history, then things go completely out of control, and we all know about that. But this is history, and we have to follow history, and by building a model kit, we are touching, and we're commenting, and we are, anyway, living history. Because we'll look at photographs, we'll try and decide when to set it, what periods. We are leaving a historical mark. So you can't history without geography, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I like to this is one of my points. So okay, it says made in the main successor state of the Soviet Union, and there's a Soviet flag right there. Okay. Right, we've spoken about the lorry, let's talk about the model. So this is a very nice little model kit in 1/100 scale by Zvezda. These kits, these models are actually can be either collected just as models, but they're also used for the art. Wait a minute, where is it? There we go, let's turn the box around. It's the Art of tactical game, strategy game. And these are used as markers. In fact, you can see here the unfinished truck, the unpainted model with a little flag at the back. So you can move this. This is your marker in the game. Or I don't really know how you play this game. I did look it up. But anyway, you can find Art of Tactic. And there's a website, www.artoftactic.com. So www.hotwar1990.com. So there you can see all about Art of Tactic. I suppose we can still see it. It's a card. Here it says here in English. Excuse me, it's a war game. And it says, excuse me. So card for war game can be downloaded from the website. Blah blah blah. Okay, here's written in Russian. I said the name Russian. It's a language. I can't say anything else. That's it. It's a language. Come on. Honestly, it's like being in 1984 by George Orwell. You have to continue saying, instead of saying bad, you have to say ungood. If you don't want to say it's very bad, you have to say it's double plus ungood. If you want to say that it's very good, you have to say it's double plus good. So it's Newspeak. It's utter rubbish. Why should I speak in Newspeak? Why why do I have to? Oh, it's honestly, it's ridiculous, and that's it. I find it all very, very, very silly, and we have to be careful what we say, how we say it, etc., etc. Oh, jeez, oh. Anyway, okay, excuse the rant, but I find it one of the most silly things in the world. Righto, so this is the kit. So it looks like that. It's grey plastic when it's not assembled, and it's used for this tactical war game. So it says here, no new material, easy to glue, easy to paint. Well, I use glue. Glue is not necessary, but it's advisable. So, in fact, there would be no way you could fit some of the very small details on this model. So, let's have a look at the model itself, the assembled model. Here's the instructions. The instructions are pretty straightforward. Of course, Zvezda kits are very, very good quality. Everything clips together. There's a little bit of filing to do just to get rid of some flashing because they're very small parts. So it's all assembled like that. Then you turn over onto the other page, and there we go. All the different bits and pieces. Here's the air filter, axles. A very nice thing is that you can choose whether to have it with a tarpaulin or just with a flatbed. And here, of course, it tells you that this detail is installed by means of the special glue produced by the Zvezda LLC. So, of course, you use plastic cement. I used Tamiya cement. That's what I've got. But I've also seen the Zvezda one for sale here in Italy, so it exists. And here it says here there are some other parts. Of course, there's a little flag, and we didn't use that. Okay, so let's have a look at the model itself. So I can choose whether to exhibit this with its tarpaulin on or without. And it's a lovely little thing. Look at that. Just unclips. So we can choose whether to have it with, without, or with its tarpaulin, which is held together. It's in two pieces. But in this case here, I painted it using the usual. I used a mixer of Vallejo olive with a spot of yellow in, but not too much because this is a more recent military vehicle from Soviet, let's say, military vehicle, so slightly darker green. But anyway, I've depicted it in Soviet times because I chose this shade. The current ones are a little bit darker. So we can say that this one here is Soviet period. So I can say Soviet, I can say Soviet Union, no problem. So, and I looked at several photographs to get the right finish. And I went for gloss wheels because I saw gloss. Maybe I could have gone for semi-gloss. But in the end I just painted the wheel centers gloss to say the standout wore such a small model. I did see photos of vehicles with gloss wheels. Underneath, it doesn't come complete. There's no drive shafts or anything, or the central box here. But I'm planning to fit, and we could do that together on a model kit Tuesday, or at least talk about it, to fit the drive shafts under here, and also the splitter box under there. And what else did I do on the model? The model doesn't come with any rear mudguards. So I don't know if you can see, maybe if I add a spot of light. If you look carefully, very carefully, you'll see that there's a little styrene mudguard there and a little styrene mudguard there at the back because I wanted to make this very realistic. So I fabricated my own mudguards, which are actually very, very shallow things, even in a real vehicle. And this was quite a job to do because what did I do? I cut a piece of styrene, then I made an incision, and then I bent it down. And this way I got the desired result. Then another very interesting thing when you do these, when you make these very small kits, is to actually paint all the very, very small details. So the very small details in this case here, we've got the marker lights on top of the cab. This is a very Soviet trucks were heavily influenced by American ones. We have the side indicator repeaters here on the mudguards, even here. And to make these, I use the nib pen. Even there, these are actually reflectors on the doors. There and there. And then at the front, I use silver to pick out the headlights. And one of the best bits was to make the side light clusters, which are typical Eastern European, the parts bin. I've seen them on all sorts of vehicles. And it's a circular side light unit with the indicator or turn signal, if you're speaking American English, in the top half, and the side light in the bottom half. And that was quite a job to do. I was using enlarging spectacles and a watchmaker's eyepiece to do that. That was good fun. And then of course the cab is just a bit of plastic. There's no solid piece of plastic, so there's no glazing. So I decided to make the glazing effect with a sort of greyish light blue mixed kind of light blue that you have for the underbelly of military aircraft, with some grey, some white, to sort of get this reflection effect on the glass. And then I picked out the various quarter lights, windscreen wipers, etc., using the nib pen as usual, because that's the best tool. So this is a nice little model to make. So building the model is it's pretty fast. The big job is painting, and that's a big job. But I think the result is really quite pleasing. So that's the Ural 4320, made in the main successor state of the Soviet Union. I like to. It's a sort of sarcasm for the nonsense world we live in. But better be sarcastic. It simplifies your life. Okay, very well. And I've got some more kits to make of this range. Well, I might present them during a Model Kit Tuesday if I don't have time to actually begin work. I have right here, I'll show you this one here, armoured car, and also another Katyusha rocket launcher. This is the Z13 six-wheeler, Zs. So this is another, and these are also 1/100 Art of Tactic series. Righto, so that was this week's Model Kit Tuesday, and see you on Model Kit Tuesday. See you next week with something which we'll be doing some work in progress. I'll definitely begin something. I think I might begin from something easy, and that will be last week's Model Kit Tuesday. The topic was the Rocco Mini Tanks Z5. So I'll begin work on that, and we can talk about that during next week's Model Kit Tuesday, I think, because I have to begin work on something. Okay, so that's it. Cheerio, and see you next time.